KOIN 6 News This Morning starts right now.
Welcome back to KOIN 6 News This Morning. It is 6:31. You're taking a live look at Portland International Airport, which is a very different scene than we have seen in the past couple months. We've got a little bit of rain lingering around, some clouds, and as we have well established on this morning show, I'm not a huge fan of it.
You're okay with it.
I can tolerate it, and I better get used to it based on how Portland will be over the next few months. I am Trevor Alt this morning in for Ken Body.
Yep, and I'm Jenny Hansen, and we want to check in with Kelly right now to see how much of this we're going to get today. Kelly?
Today we'll see those scattered showers pushing out throughout the afternoon. So again, another day of showers out there. Here's a look out towards Seaside now. You can see in the light there that rainfall coming down. So wet at the beaches, and we're seeing lingering showers out there in Portland at the moment. Cloudy skies for much of the region, 57 degrees at the moment. Here's a look at our bus stop forecast. Heading into our later morning, we'll stay in the upper 50s. So might want to bring a jacket and a light rain jacket at that. We'll keep those showers out there through today. By the afternoon, lingering showers, but maybe some sun breaks. Also a chance for an isolated thunderstorm. So mixed bag of weather for today. Temperatures ending in the upper 60s. Later on, we'll talk about those hurricanes out there, the tracks that they expect to make, and just how dangerous they are. That's on my full forecast in just a bit. Carly.
So we have this crash, which is on Burnside near Barnes. Now it is near the turnoff for Pittock Mansion. So Burnside has been blocked because of this rollover crash. So I would avoid that area. Take 26. Now I-5 southbound slows before the interstate bridge. You'll find delays there, and from Vancouver you'll find some inbound on 26 and on I-84 westbound. So we're going to get to the latest drive times here. Here's all three. I-5 southbound 14 minutes, and from SR 500 you can expect 7 minutes on I-84 westbound from I-205 to I-5. It's a 7-minute drive on 26 and from 217. Now it still looks great for I-205 southbound there through Oregon City, 12 minutes, 217 southbound 8 minutes, and 17 minutes in from Wilsonville.
Thank you, Carly. The discovery of a body in the Mount Hood wilderness may have brought some closure to one local family, but how Diana Bober actually died is raising a lot of questions this morning.
Elise Haas joins us now with more on what's likely the first deadly cougar attack in Oregon history. Elise?
Well, guys, as you know, cougar attacks are very rare, and this victim was an avid hiker. She loved the outdoors, and when she went missing for a couple of weeks, her family originally thought that maybe she had gotten hurt while out hiking in the woods, and in that time, her family remained hopeful. I mean, that's all they really could do. But when Diana's body was found, investigators say that it was clear that she had fought for her life. Rescue crews found Diana Bober's body on Monday off the Hunchback Trail near Mount Hood. Then authorities announced the results of the autopsy yesterday, which revealed Diana was killed in an animal attack. That's when the family learned that authorities believe a cougar was responsible.
Oh, okay, so she didn't just trip and fall. She fought a cougar, and she fought pretty hard. They don't think the cougar came back. She died of her wound.
This would mark the first fatal cougar attack in Oregon's history. And though it's not the ending they hope for, Diana's family says they take peace in knowing that Diana was doing something she loved. And her sister says Diana never lived life in fear of risks and said she lived her life to the fullest. And that's a lesson she hopes people take away from her sister's story. Reporting live, Elise Haas, KOIN 6 News.
All right, Elise, thank you. Moving on to a crime alert now. Vancouver police are looking for a man they say held a couple at gunpoint, then stole their car, and then kidnapped another man a few hours later. This all started Monday morning after 2 on East 21st Street. Investigators say the man knocked on the door, pointed a gun at the couple living inside, and demanded money and their car keys. A few hours later, police say he held a security guard at Vancouver Lake Park at gunpoint and eventually put him in the trunk.
And the victim was able to call 911 from the trunk and then eventually jump out of the trunk of the vehicle, which is where we located him. Male, Hispanic or white, 20 to 25, brown hair with a medium build.
Well, there's the description. If you know anything or who that might be, please call police.
All right, we want to get over to Hawaii right now, where they are bracing for Tropical Storm Olivia.
Yeah, that's right. And reporter Cole Miller following this storm for us from Waikiki. Cole, good morning. How is it over there?
Trevor, Jenny, good morning. We're just finally starting to see some Well, I can't call it significant rainfall, but it's the most steady rain we've seen all morning. About 10 minutes ago, we had our biggest blast of heavy rain, but that only lasted about 60 seconds. Tropical Storm Olivia really starting to break up as it nears the Hawaiian Islands. It's scattering really all over the chain. To our south, though, in Maui, that's where they're seeing the brunt of it. Wind gusts already up to 50 miles per hour there. They could get as high as 70 miles per hour, and there's a flood advisory in effect there right now, at least for a few more minutes. Now back here on Oahu, there's a lot to take in here. There's the mayor is saying that, hey, we're not out of the woods just yet. It may not be doing much right now, but as we continue overnight here and into the afternoon hours Wednesday, this storm is going to continue to slam the island for the next 36 hours or so as it continues to break apart. So he's warning not to let your guard down. They talk about hurricane fatigue. It was just a couple of weeks ago that Hurricane Lane rolled through here. People stocked up. They were ready for that. It was much stronger, or forecasted to be much stronger than Olivia, but it really veered off to the south, hitting the Big Island. So many of those folks who did get prepared, they still have those supplies if they need them. But again, flooding is a concern as well as the winds. The power grid here is quite weak. I'm told it only takes about a 30 or 35 mile-an-hour gust to knock down those power lines. Crews on standby if that becomes a problem. Reporting live in Waikiki, Cole Miller, KOIN 6 News.
Good news that it appears to be breaking up, but you never know with storms of these size.
Yeah, and Cole, I was surprised people yesterday you were interviewing were traveling into Hawaii and weren't really all that concerned about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, some of those folks didn't even know that Olivia existed, so it was a bit of a surprise to them, too. I was the bearer of that news. They had no idea that a storm was headed their way. They're promising not to let it spoil their vacations, however.
I'm hoping that they don't pay for their ignorance. It sounds like it might not be quite so bad, but we're going to keep following this, Cole. Do appreciate your live report. Stay safe and get some sleep when you can.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Cole. Well, more severe weather as a strengthening Category 4 Hurricane Florence prepares to bear down on the Carolinas, and Louisiana is sending emergency personnel to help in the aftermath. 4 EMS paramedics are heading out to the East Coast. They are prepared to stay as long as they're needed. They will be assigned to a floodwater rescue team when they arrive. Now, the governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness will send about 100 emergency personnel to assist on the East Coast. More than 700 American Red Cross disaster workers are en route. Tropical storm force winds are expected as early as tonight, and it's expected to make landfall by Thursday or early Friday.
I never thought that anybody would ever do anything like that.
A man who works at this gas station is on life support right now, and the people who saw him suffer a medical emergency didn't even call 911. Police say they stole from him over and over while he convulsed on the ground. Well, cameras caught the guy wearing black, stealing jerky Saturday evening at a gas station in Auburn, Washington, and when the clerk arrives, it's clear no one wants to pay for it. And that's when police say he walked around the register to confront those boys who were stealing, but an unexpected medical problem makes him collapse.
Not only just watching, they stepped over him, literally stepped over him as he was on the ground in agony.
They ended up with $180 and 10 packs of cigarettes that they took while the clerk was on the ground. Auburn police say 2 of them could be minors. There's no word on who they might be this morning. It is 6:39. You're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
And keeping up with the Southwest Washington teacher strike still ahead, we're checking in with the only school district left that is not back in class.
And we're starting off this morning with light showers out. They're expecting to keep those in the forecast through today with a chance for thunderstorms again this afternoon. More of my full forecast in just a bit.
And it's now a busier commute for you, so I'll have the latest drive times and all the different slowdowns you'll see out there.
Coming up, Hurricane Florence creeps closer. We're in North Carolina as residents of the Southeast prepare for the arrival of what's being called the storm of a lifetime. Plus, meet the first woman to lead the Corps of Cadets at the Citadel. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
KOIN 6 continues to track the ongoing teacher strikes in Southwest Washington. Now, if the teachers in Battleground aren't back to work by Monday, they won't get paid. That's the word from the school board. They passed a resolution suspending the paychecks if a deal to end the strike doesn't get done. Battleground is the only school in Southwest Washington where teachers are still on strike. And we have just learned that there will be an emergency school board meeting tonight at 6 in Battleground. We're going to be there. You can look for updates tonight on KOIN 6 News, and also you should download the KOIN 6 app. You can sign up for news alerts. We'll send out information about the meeting as soon as we learn something.
All right, 6:44 coming up on 6:44, and we do need to take a look at your weather and traffic. I know when it rains, Carly, usually that can cause some issues, problems, especially if we haven't seen a lot in a long time.
Right, because roads are slick, people maybe not being as cautious as they should. So we have had a number of different crashes this morning. As of right now, we just have one that remains, and that is the rollover crash over on Burnside at Barnes, right there where the turnoff is for the Pittock Mansion. So Burnside has been blocked because of this, a vehicle that ended up on its top. Whether that was due to slick roads or not, we don't know for sure, but you do want to be careful out there. So let's take a look at all the different delays we're seeing now due to rush hour. I-5 southbound is 19 minutes from SR 500 down to the Fremont Bridge. On I-205 southbound, there is a backup forming before the Glen Jackson Bridge, and it's 14 minutes in from SR 500. Pretty much that backup stretches back to SR 500. The I-205 southbound commute through Westland and Oregon City, 14 minutes. Watch out for those brake lights after Gladstone. 217 southbound, 8 minutes, looking good there still. But 26 does slow just after 217, and it's 10 minutes in from 217 right now. 18 minutes on I-5 northbound from Wilsonville to downtown. And look at I-84. I-84 westbound is 8 minutes from I-205 to I-5. It picks up after 82nd. Kelly?
Well, the big news in weather now is Hurricane Florence. Again, that is churning out towards the Atlantic. It's a Category 4 hurricane now with wind speed sustained around 130 miles an hour. It's a big one. It's expected to make landfall heading into early Friday morning, even as early as late Thursday night. So take a look at that storm track. That red line, that is the average of those spaghetti plot models that have been forecasting this. And what's difficult about this storm here is that it's changed its track. It's now including a more southerly direction. So we could see this making landfall in South Carolina or even Georgia. Likely to not, but again, we're now seeing this bigger area of the cone of uncertainty of where this hurricane could make landfall. But the biggest impacts of this are going to be the storm surge. That's about 12 to 15 feet now forecasted, and those are the high ocean waters pushing onshore. And again, those are catastrophic. Those will wipe out houses along the coast. Also expecting heavy rainfall up to about 20 inches, even 45 inches in some very isolated areas as this makes landfall. Hopefully it weakens as it does so. Now expected to be about a Category 3 as it makes landfall again by Friday early morning. We're expecting that, so we'll be watching that as we head into our week here. But for now, in Seaside, looking very rainy out there. Cloudy skies for the beaches. We are watching this upper level low system out towards our region here that is just sitting over us. So throwing us showers up in Washington, but also in Portland too this morning, seeing some scattered light showers. Now in Portland, fairly dry, but we'll keep seeing those showers pushing in and out and heavy at times today. So expecting a fairly mixed bag of weather. We'll see some sun breaks out there, but some heavy areas of rain, even a chance for a thunderstorm through today. This model showing some heavy cells this afternoon, so likely till about 2 to 8 p.m. Again, we may see a thunderstorm out there, but among sun breaks. Overnight Thursday looking drier, but Thursday throughout the day again we'll see those rain showers pushing back into the region. So here's our headlines again. Looking at that thunderstorm window, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. again through today. Spotty showers remain through the rest of this week, looking like our next dry day will likely be Sunday afternoon into Monday. Also, temperatures staying much below average in the upper 60s throughout the rest of this week. At the beaches in the mid 60s, Tillamook 64 degrees today, 64 in Seaside as well. We'll keep it mostly cloudy there with showers roaming. Also in the valley, we'll see those showers moving in. 67 today in Portland. Again, that's below average. Pretty cool day ahead, so bring that light jacket with you. In Central Oregon, Madras Bend in the 60s, and Pendleton in Eastern Oregon, 71 degrees in the Gorge today. Looking partly sunny already this morning, 71 for the Dalles. We'll see a chance for morning showers, but likely sunshine by the afternoon. Here's our 7-day forecast. We'll keep those temperatures in the upper 60s as we head towards the weekend. Again, spotty showers out there through much of this week, even into Saturday and likely through Sunday morning, but drying up heading into Monday as those temperatures start to climb back towards the mid 70s. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Kelly. It's 6:48, and there's a lot going on in Clark County over the next few weeks.
Yeah, the Northwest Natural Parade of Homes kicked off last week. Cor Harlan gives us a look.
Boy, one of the first things that you will see when you walk through the door of home number 10 here at the Northwest Natural Parade of Homes. This is home number 10, the Dorio construction. The home's name is Timberline for a good reason. It has got a lot of timber frame construction in here. And this is the view as you walk in the front door, right through the fireplace right here. This is Tracy Dorio, the builder here. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Court.
This is a neat feature to walk into, right?
It's got a lot of wow factor.
Yeah, I'll bet. And this home is built and has been pre-sold, but it does have a lot of the style elements from Timberline Lodge.
That's
right?
correct. We wanted a warm, inviting place that reminded our owner of some places that he's been. Timberline is one of them, and some neat lodges in Colorado.
Let's kick the tires a little bit. We're going to start out by the coolest feature of this, well, one of the coolest features. It's got a lot of them. And this is what? What are you about to show me now?
This is a secret door, and this goes up. We kind of call it the 50 Shades of Grey homage.
This is for the daughter that's off to college and only home once in a while, right? Look at that, a stairwell. This couple that helped design this house does not like stairs. They do not like to climb stairs. And they
do not need the stairs. They do not need the room. So they said, put it behind a secret door.
And when she goes away, you push that 50 Shades of Grey, and that is one of the coolest things. That's beautiful. Should we go to the bedroom, Tracy? I haven't said that to a man your age in a long time, but let's do what's good. That's a good thing for both of us probably here. Got about 30 seconds left. I want to show folks the split entry to the guest bathroom in here. And again, Big Adam is following us along here. Come on in, Big Adam. All right, here's the master crib right here. There it is, okay? Now, when they go to the bathroom and the changing room, they take separate entries in here. This is a good way to preserve a marriage, I think. Separate entries to the closet. There goes Tracy that way. This, of course, is a little larger over here. It's the lady of the house's thing. Lady of the house's changing area in here. And plus, you and I meet in the shower. It's another thing I haven't said in a long, long time out here. It's a beautifully appointed shower.
Thank you so much. When we went to design the home, they said a 31-year marriage has lasted because of this layout. We have to have it if it's going to make 32.
32, it's good. It's even got locks on the shower doors here. Northwest Natural Parade of Homes underway at Camas Meadows. Look it up online. Come out here. See home number 10, the Dorio Construction Timberline Home.
I feel like we learned a lot about Core's marriage in that.
Too much,
yes.
probably.
Probably a little very too much,
Probably.
yeah. All right, 6:50, you're watching KOIN 6 News, watching out for you.
We'll be right back. You know, you can see a lot of things if you scan the crowd at an NFL game, but one member of the Baltimore Ravens marching band blowing up on social media this morning for the instrument that he wasn't playing.
He is pretty spot on, we will say that. That's Peter Zerpolo rocking out to Rush's Tom Sawyer during the Ravens-Bills game over the weekend. Now, he is actually a drummer in the marching band. Obviously did not get enough licks in while he was actually playing.
He was nailing it, though. He was right on cue. We want to know, what is the best song to play an air instrument to? Could be guitar, could be the drums, could be the flute, whatever you think it is.
Flute.
Head to KOIN 6. Don't take videos of yourself playing the air flute. But we want to hear what your opinion is. Jenny, what did you say yours was?
Nirvana Smells Like Teen
Yeah,
Spirit.
so you sing, but then you also do the Dave Grohl drums to it.
Yes, not the guitar, but the drums.
The drums.
Yeah, just because I don't really know.
That seems more complicated.
No.
guitar's easy.
And the
Yeah,
guitar,
that's what I think.
would look like I was doing a ukulele or something. I
Because
don't know.
if you're doing if your guitar, you can just do this,
Right.
and it's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas like drums, you got to keep it on rhythm.
I'm on rhythm. What about you guys?
I think of two songs.
Okay.
Okay.
Dark Necessities by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Lee
Yeah.
does that really that bass line in the beginning. And then Get Lucky, you know.
Daft Punk.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
You know,
good
in Anchorman when Will Ferrell plays the flute.
The jazz. Is it the jazz
I'll do that
flute?
one. I'll do that
yes,
one.
the jazz flute. Oh boy.
That'll be me.
Specifically a clip from Anchorman.
That'll be me. Yeah.
Trevor never said his.
More Than a Feeling by
Okay,
Boston.
more than
Yeah.
Feeling by
Yeah.
Boston. Okay,
All
all
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's a good
We
one.
covered a lot of genres
We
there.
really did.
Yeah.
All right, and
Okay,
he picked music
jazz.
guy doesn't like rain, but
Right.
we're still going to get some rain.
Yeah.
Heading into today. Let's quickly look at our 7-day forecast. Keep a chance for showers heading into the afternoon. Temperatures this week as we head towards the weekend staying in the upper 60s, and those showers lingering through Saturday. Monday looking like our first dry day in a while as temperatures start to climb back towards the low 70s.
All right, time to take a look at the latest drive times. We've got a number of delays out there. I-5 southbound's getting pretty heavy, 23 minutes from SR 500 to the Fremont Bridge. I-84 westbound is 9 minutes in from I-205. You've got 11 minutes on 26 as you head in from 217. Look at the drive time for I-205 southbound. It's 16 minutes from Highway 224 to I-5. 217 southbound, 10 minutes, 19 in from Wilsonville.
And Trevor, you're going to grace us with your presence for a couple days, right?
That's right, because
Wow.
Ken is unfortunately on vacation. So
Buckle up, people.
apologies in advance to everyone.
Hey, don't go anywhere. CBS This Morning coming up in just a few minutes with more on the first woman to lead the Corps of Cadets at the Citadel. We will see you back here at noon.
And a couple cut-ins every 25 minutes.